The Winter Classic took place yesterday, and even though it wasn't really that intense of a game, it did have some pretty nice jerseys. So today I wanted to go ahead and rank every single Winter Classic jersey matchup. So I'm not ranking the jerseys individually, I am ranking them as a pair. Do they work well together? Do they kind of conflict? Do they conflict in a good way or a bad way? All of that stuff. And I should also add, I am just in love with Winter Classic jerseys. Honestly, out of all of these jerseys that I'm looking at right here, there's maybe like 3 that I don't overly like, and even the ones that I'm not really a huge fan of, there are aspects of those that I really like. So yeah, I'm in love with Winter Classic jerseys. I almost like all of them. So this list was pretty hard to make because I was like, man, I don't know what to put at the bottom. It was really difficult, but I did come up with a list here. So I'm going back the entire history of the Winter Classic games, which are 16 years. So we have 16 games worth of jerseys to go over. Before we do go ahead and dive into it, if you're new to the channel and you like hockey jersey content, please make sure to subscribe. I would really appreciate it. Starting us off at number 16, I have the 2020 Winter Classic. So the Dallas Stars versus the Nashville Predators. It's really that Predators jersey that brings this one down. The Dallas one I think is pretty nice. I want it in my collection. It's just very expensive, so probably not going to get it, but that Nashville one, it's not great. The word mark there, not really doing a whole lot for me. The fact that the P touches the bottom stripe, not great. Yeah, it's just not an overall very nice looking jersey. I think they look okay together, like going up against each other, but it's just not a very nice looking jersey on the Nashville side, which is what brings this one down to number 16. At number 15, I have the 2025 Winter Classic. So technically, it's not really the 2025 Winter Classic since it was played in 2024. I don't know if they're technically calling it the 2025 Winter Classic. They kind of just said the Winter Classic. They didn't really give it a year. But yeah, it's this year's Winter Classic. It's the previous one that happened yesterday. I do have it at number 15 here. It's possible this one could climb up in the rankings over the next, couple seasons here. Like I said, I had a hard time really making this list because I do love Winter Classic jerseys so much. It's really the St. Louis one here. Once again, it's a word mark that I just don't particularly love. I love the colors on the St. Louis jersey. I think those look great, but it's really just the word mark that I think is not, I'm not too in love with, honestly. The Blackhawks one, I think that is a very nice looking jersey. I don't love it as much as other people tend to. I know some people just adore this thing. They think it's absolutely fantastic. I think it's nice. I definitely do, but I don't like it as much as other people tend to, which is why I have it at number 15. Next at number 14, we have the 2015 Winter Classic jersey. This one here is actually brought down by the Blackhawks jersey just because it is really similar to their away jersey, so it just doesn't really feel too special. The Capitals jersey is great though. I love the colors on that thing, that burgundy or maroon, whatever you want to call it. That looks great. It's just a very nice looking jersey and it feels old school, which going up against the Blackhawks jersey, even though the Blackhawks away jersey technically is kind of old school, they've had it for a very long time, it just doesn't really feel super old school because they still are wearing it, so it just doesn't really work well as a matchup in my opinion. At number 13, I have the 2010 Winter Classic in between the Bruins and the Flyers, and this one honestly is just hurt by time. That Bruins jersey is sick, it's awesome, I love it. The Flyers one though, most people are just going to say, well, that's just the away Flyers jersey, right? It's a little bit different now, but, their previous Flyers jerseys that they had basically going up until the 2023 season, that is basically just their away jersey that they had for a very long time. But at the time of this game, that was not the case. They had not worn this for like 20 years or maybe even longer than that, maybe 30 years. It was a while since they had worn this jersey. So it was retro at the time, but just looking back at it now, it doesn't really feel that way. So looking at this game and comparing it to the other jerseys and the other matchups here, it just doesn't really feel all that special, even though it was. So I'm sure if I forgot about the Flyers jersey history for like the past 15 years, I'd probably like this matchup a lot more, but because of that, yeah, it falls pretty low. Moving along at number 12, I have the 2023 Winter Classic in between the Boston Bruins and the Pittsburgh Penguins. This one is just a little bit of a miss because I really feel like they could have had a nice jersey matchup if the Boston Bruins just used, a slight variation on their logo, or even used like the 2019 Winter Classic jerseys, which of course we'll talk about a little bit later on. But basically, if they just had a big B as their logo, like they usually do. If they had that, I think these jerseys would look really nice as a jersey matchup because you would have a big B, you would have a big P, you have two just really big letters going up against each other. I think that would be fun. I think it would be really nice. I just kind of realized that sounds a big P and a big B going up against each other. Whatever. What I'm trying to say is I just think the two letters going up against each other would look cool. But yeah, even with these two jerseys, I still think the matchup looks pretty nice. The colors match pretty well. It's basically the colors just swapped. So I think that is pretty cool. And I do still like the Boston jersey. I think the Meth Bear is really fun on the front of the jersey. Wish they removed the text, but yeah, it's kind of just me imagining the two big letters going up against each other, which brings this one down a little bit. Now at number 11, we're going back to the original Winter Classic, the 2008, in between the Pittsburgh Penguins and the Buffalo Sabres. This is a very nice jersey matchup. Honestly, they did a pretty good job on their first run. That Pittsburgh jersey is fantastic. I like the fact that it's two round logos. I think that is actually pretty cool. Both have shoulder yoke. They actually did a fairly good job in terms of the jerseys matching up, if that's what they wanted to do. The thing that I'm not really a huge fan of is that Buffalo jersey. Once again, doesn't really feel all too special at this point. I also don't love the fact that it has the regular logo on the two shoulders. I know that's what they used to have back in the day, so that's kind of what they were throwing back to here, but I just don't particularly love it. I don't think it looks that great. So yeah, not a huge fan of that one, but that Pittsburgh jersey, very, very nice. And even the Buffalo one, I still think looks good. Okay, we're into the top 10 now. This was super difficult. I had such a hard time deciding where to put these top 10s, because at number 10, I have the 2017 Winter Classic in between the Blues and the Blackhawks. So, obviously that's what we had this year as well. This original matchup, I do think, is a lot nicer than that previous one. I think this Blues jersey is so nice. This is one of my favorite Blues jerseys of all time. I think it's absolutely amazing. The Chicago one is pretty darn good as well. It's not really slacking a whole lot. So yeah, two really good jerseys going up against each other. I think they look great together. Yeah, this one, I don't really have too many complaints here, and that's at number 10. So there's a lot more jerseys to take a look at. Let's move on to number 9. I have the 2022 Winter Classic in between the Blues and the Wild. So I was saying that the 2017 one was one of my favorite Blues jerseys. This is my favorite Blues jersey. I absolutely love it. I think it's fantastic. I think the cream as the main color looks great. The colors, so nice, so awesome. And going up against that Wild jersey, both feel very old school, both feel very retro. The Wild jersey is more of like an ugly retro. With the Blues one, it's like a nicer retro. So that's maybe the only thing that hurts this one a little bit, is that they don't really feel like kind of on the same level, I would say. The Wild one is just really interesting. That's kind of why I like it as much as I do, is because it is so different. Just the stripe up top there, the abbreviated Minneapolis, and then the St. Paul at the bottom with the little Minnesota in the middle. Yeah, it's not really that great. On top of the fact you have the basically elbow patch, which is just really, really strange. Very unique though, and that's, like I said, that's why I kind of like the jersey, is because it is so unique. So yeah, I almost wish that the Blues sort of went a little bit more in that direction, because with this Blues jersey, it's not really that unique. It is kind of just throwing back to their original jerseys, which are nice. They're very nice looking jerseys, so I do like them. But yeah, that's maybe the only thing that hurts it, is that it doesn't really match up super well, but they're both jerseys that I really like, so it comes in at number 9. Coming in at number 8, I have the 2019 Winter Classic in between the Bruins and the Blackhawks. Honestly, these are just very nice looking jerseys. That's really what it comes down to, in terms of like, if they match up well together, sorta. I mean, they both look nice together, so yeah, they do, but they don't really have a ton in common, which is fine. It's not like these jerseys need to have a ton in common. That's not something that I'm really overly looking for when I'm doing this ranking. It's just something that I wouldn't mind also, because you can see here, in my opinion, it's really nice. Like, it's a phenomenal looking matchup, and they don't really have anything in common. The colors don't match. The logos aren't really close to the same. The striping is really different. So yeah, it's just two nice jerseys going up against each other, and it looks great. Next at number 7, I have the 2018 Winter Classic. So of course, just the year before. Yeah, these are also just absolutely fantastic looking jerseys. I love that Buffalo one. That Buffalo one is really, really nice. I think it's absolutely phenomenal. I love the fact that there's like leather as the Buffalo. I think that is really cool. And of course, one neat thing with basically all of these Winter Classic logos, not all, but a good majority of them, is that they have felt, and I love felt. I absolutely love that on my jerseys. So there is some felt, I believe, on that Buffalo jersey as well, just like the blue parts. I'm fairly certain I remember it being felt. I could be, I guess, wrong on that. But either way, yeah, that jersey is fantastic. The Rangers jersey, also very, very nice. It's interesting that it has the NY little patch up top there, because that is on every single jersey, except for the captains and the alternate captains, where the NY is replaced with a C or an A. It's still in that little Rangers kind of crest there, but it's just, obviously not NY. So I kind of like that. I kind of don't. It's really unique, so I think that is a ton of fun, but I also don't think it looks particularly great when, you have your entire team with something up top there. It takes away, I think, a little bit from those captains. So I think in an idea, it's really cool. In execution, maybe not the best, but I still think it's really neat. All right, at number 6, this is one that I really wanted to put into the top 5, but I just couldn't find any room. It is the 2016 Winter Classic game in between the Montreal Canadiens and the Boston Bruins. 2 original 6 teams going at it, and they're wearing pretty much what they wore when at least the Boston Bruins debuted in the NHL back in 1924. The Canadiens, similar to what they wore back in the day as well in 1924. It's a little bit different because they had the globe on the front of their jerseys instead of the C that you see there, but it makes sense that they wouldn't be wearing that in this game here. So they put the C on the front, the globe on the shoulders, and I think that is awesome. This is basically what each team could award with the Centennial game this season for the Boston Bruins. Obviously, it was the Montreal Maroons that the Boston Bruins played way back in the day, so I guess technically the Canadiens could have done like a Maroons throwback. It would have been nice if the Canadiens did something for that game, but I understand them not doing it because it wasn't really their celebration. I still would have liked it though. It still would have been a lot of fun. But yeah, it's really cool that both teams decided to go back to that 1924-25 season. So yeah, this is a really solid looking matchup. And like I said, I wanted to put it into the top 5, but I just didn't have room. I really didn't. With that top 5 though, at number 5, I had the 2009 Winter Classic game in between the Detroit Red Wings and the Chicago Blackhawks. These jerseys are both phenomenal. I mean, we're into the top 5. The rest of these jerseys I'm going to absolutely love. But with these ones here, I love the fact that the Detroit Red Wings just have a one big stripe in the middle. I think that looks great, and it's kind of mimicked on that Chicago Blackhawks jersey where it does have the big stripe. I mean, it has some more stripes to it as well, just on the top and bottom of it, but the fact that you basically have 2 jerseys with just a big stripe in the middle, it works well together. I think that is a really nice looking matchup there. The Blackhawks in black always look great. So yeah, these jerseys together are awesome. Really like this a lot. At number 4 here, I have the 2011 Winter Classic between the Pittsburgh Penguins and the Washington Capitals. I'm going to be honest, a huge reason for this being at number 4 is that Pittsburgh jersey. I love it. I think it's great. The Pittsburgh Penguins in those colors are phenomenal. They just look so good in the dark blue and the baby blue. I love it so much. And that logo specifically is so much fun. It's just a little penguin that has a scarf. It's so cute. I love the fact that he has a scarf. The Capitals jersey though, also just very nice. It's a lot more clean, and I would say it feels a lot more classic than the Pittsburgh one. Not that the Pittsburgh one isn't, throwing back to an older school jersey and doesn't really feel super classic. I guess it's just the logo itself, especially having that scarf, does kind of make it feel a little bit more modern and like, a play on the Winter Classic, where the Capitals jersey is just basically an old school jersey. But still, both of them absolutely phenomenal. Obviously, I really like both a ton, so that's why it's at number 4. Now at number 3, I have the 2024 Winter Classic in between the Vegas Golden Knights and the Seattle Kraken. This Seattle jersey is probably the best Winter Classic jersey just ever, in my opinion. It is so nice, man. It is just so gorgeous. I love the fact that they are kind of throwing back to the Metropolitans in a way, but still making it a little bit new, still making it a little bit fresh. Now, it's kind of because they had to. It wasn't really their decision, but it still looks nice. I still love it. And with that Vegas one, I honestly wasn't really a huge fan of it when it first released, but it has grown on me, especially since getting the jersey. I just really love the numbers on the thing. The numbers are just so awesome. And with this matchup, we have 2 big letters going up against each other, and it's a versus. Literally a big V and a big S. It's versus. Kind of fun. I don't know. Just something a little bit neat to add on to it. I think both teams did a very good job creating a throwback jersey, considering they're both really new to the NHL. Now, what is at number 2? Well, I have the 2012 Winter Classic game in between the Philadelphia Flyers and the New York Rangers. These are probably my favorite jerseys for both teams. I love that Rangers jersey so much. I love the fact that it actually has a crest. I love when they use the Shield logo, and this one here, obviously, it's a little bit different of a Shield logo, and it feels very retro. The Flyers jersey, also fantastic. Love the shoulder yoke there. Just a little bit of cream in the striping, and also the fact that it's surrounding the logo. I think that is a very nice touch. So yeah, these jerseys just are awesome. Really awesome. So that means at number 1, I have the 2014 Winter Classic game, the Detroit Red Wings and the Toronto Maple Leafs. I think most people probably would have this at number 1, and it's not really even me being a Toronto fan. It's just Like, having two dark colors going up against each other, we need more of that in the NHL. We really, really do. I think it looks so great when it's two colors that just contrast very nicely. Like, you know, it's not like you're going to get confused at who is wearing the blue jerseys and who is wearing the red jerseys. They're two very different colors. There's not going to be any confusion there. So I would love to see the NHL do that more often, especially with these outdoor games. I think it's a great place to have two dark colors going up against each other. But unfortunately, it's the only one that we've had so far in the Winter Classic games. So yeah, it's an easy number one for me. I think it's no question, and I don't think I'm going to get too much pushback on that one. I think most people would probably agree with me. But yeah, that is my list. Let me know if you agree with me in the comments down below. If you want to do your own ranking, you can definitely go ahead and do that. But I know it's a little bit of work, so, you know, do whatever you want. If you just agree with me, or if you want to put down a list, I would appreciate it. I definitely will read it. And yeah, it's always cool to see other people's opinions. That's going to do it for me, though. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys had a happy new year. I am going to be doing a ranking of every single jersey that I got in 2024. I was initially just going to do a top 10 and then a top 15. And then I said, screw it. I'll do every single jersey that I got in 2024. So that is coming probably within the next couple of days here. Meant to upload it today, but I thought this one probably fit a little bit better today. I don't know. Anyways, doesn't matter. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.